Hi creatives, greetings from my end, Demma here, and welcome to my channel, Jenjescator. On today's tutorial, I'll be sharing with you how I made this beautiful shawl collar dress that you just saw on the screen. Okay, this is me trying to hem the dress with my hemming gum and everything. Everything is included in this video. Loads of sewing tutorials. The pattern making and the sewing tutorial is here in this video. That's why it's a bit lengthy. Just stay through till the end so that you see everything I did to make this beautiful dress. You can see how lovely it's looking, how neat the inside is and everything. So if this sounds like what you like to know how it was done, then you have to come with me as I share with you every bit of the process I took. Here I have my pattern paper and I will go ahead to draft my pattern. The first thing I did was to take 6 inches from the edge of that paper. I'll mark 6 inches and I'll go ahead and draw a horizontal line across. So that is what I did, and the next thing I did was to take my neckline 3 by 3 and I just connected it with my pattern master, just as you can see. And this is my shoulder measurement, 16 divided by 2, which is 8, and I squared that down. The next is my shoulder slope, which is 1 inch, and I connected to the side of my neck, and that's that. The next will be my across chest. I came in by 3/4, and then my bust measurement. Okay, bust measurement divided by 4, and that is the measurement I took. If it's 40, then you will be taking 10. So that is that, and I drew a vertical line there, and this is my front half length that I am taking right now. And then I will be also drawing a horizontal line, just as you can see me do, and that is that. And the next thing is to take my bust point. Just get the bust level and take your bust to bust. And that is it. It gives me the point, and I took my bust to bust there, and I also took 1/2 inch on both sides of this mark to give me my dart. Here I'm marking just 1 inch below my bust point to connect my dart, and that is that. Okay, so the next thing is to mark your under bust. Any method you use to mark your under bust is fine, and then just take 1 inch away from that under bust. That is what I just did, and I connected it to the waistline as like so, and I'm connecting to the bust point as like so. Okay, do yours just like that. And then the next thing is to go ahead and draw my armhole, and that is what I'm doing. I'm measuring my armhole, and I'll be connecting it from shoulder to across chest and then to the vertical line by the side. Okay, if it's confusing, you'll have to check my basic pattern, basic bodice pattern, to understand everything. Here I marked the half of my armhole, and I dropped by 1 inch, and then I extended by 1 inch. Okay, just watch closely, you will understand. I connected on the first point, which is the half of my armhole, and I'm connecting to the drop that I made. Okay, the 1 inch drop, and yeah, this is just what I have. I completed it by connecting to the armhole. Where I shaded is where we'll be going out at the end of this pattern making. Then the next is just to, draft my back neck line, which is what I'm doing. I've drafted my back neck line, and I'll be measuring it. Anything you get, note it. That is what I'll be extending this front neckline with, and that is what I did. I extended it just like so, and I'm marking the middle of this line and then extending here by 1/2 inch. Now I'll be connecting it to the half mark, that's midpoint that I made earlier, and yeah, that is that. Watch closely to see what I will do for that. I will go ahead and drop this neckline to where I want it. Drop yours to where you desire. I dropped mine by about 5 inches, I think, and then connect it to your neckline like so. Okay, and that is it. The next thing is to use my extra paper to join to the center front, because I'll be needing extra at that center front. Watch closely. I'll use my masking tape to join those two papers together, and I will go ahead to draw the center line. I'm just drawing the center line here just to make it more visible on top of the masking tape. That is just what I did. Then the next is to draw a line where I am showing you. Just draw a right angle. Draw a line in such a way that it will make a right angle with the first slanted line that I made. Okay, that is just it. Let the length of this line be about 3.5 to 4 inches. 4 inches is just fine. Okay, so you just mark 3.5. Between 3.5 to 4 inches is fine. So mark it, and then I will be drawing my neckline style. Okay, I'll just use my free hand to draw my shawl collar style here. Do the same for yours, or if you are not okay with using your free hand, you can go ahead and use maybe your pattern master or anything you please that you feel will give you the shape that you desire. Okay, so here this is what I have, and I will go ahead and just add my zipper allowance. Okay, I just want to add it here, and that is the only allowance I will be adding in this pattern. The rest I will be adding when I am cutting on fabric. I just added 1 inch here, and I will be connecting it all through to where the break points of the neckline is. Then I have extended it just like so to that zipper allowance, I mean the waistline. Watch closely and you'll understand everything I'm doing, and I'm going ahead to cut this out. So this is just it. After cutting this out, it will give me my front pattern. Guys, if you've not subscribed to my channel at this point, what are you waiting for? I share at least weekly loads of sewing tutorials that you would definitely love. Here I am drawing my side bust dart, which is about 2 inches, because the difference between the front and back half length is 2 inches. So that is what forms the side bust dart. Okay, so I'm going ahead to complete cutting out. So this is what I have. I'll go ahead and cut off that extra after the waistline. I'm just taping this more so that it doesn't open up around that neckline. So I'm going ahead to cut out this. So this is my pattern now, which is the front pattern. I won't want to cut the back pattern separately. I will be tracing the back pattern with this front pattern because obviously the back is there. So I'm marking 2 inches away from this waistline, which will give me my back waist. Okay, you know that the back half length is about 2 inches shorter than the front for my clients. Okay, so that is what I just did there. Now I got a fresh pattern paper and I have placed the front pattern on it, and I'll be using my tracing wheel, just as you can see me holding here. I'll be using my tracing wheel to trace out my back pattern. But before I do that, I'll go ahead and stick this front pattern to the pattern paper that I have, and that is what I'm doing, and I will go ahead to trace the back pattern. Watch closely to see where I am tracing. I'm tracing strictly the back part of the pattern. I'm not tracing everything. Here I am coming out by about 1/4 inch, which is the difference between the front and the back, the difference between the across chest and the across back. Yes, and I am tracing it through to the rest of the armhole. I have traced the side, and I've gone ahead to trace just the back half length, if you observed closely. Now I will use my marker pen to make all my tracing points or trace lines to be visible. That's just what I'm doing here. And yes, that will be it, and I have connected all. So this is what I have. I already have my back pattern. So having it like this, you can now go ahead and measure. I'm just measuring the front waistline to be sure that it is complete. That is just what I did. I marked the waist and then measured my dart, and it's just fine. Here I am marking my back tightening. I want to tighten the back, and I've gone ahead to measure the waist from that tightening, and also added my dart allowance, and it passed a little the waistline. Okay, and that is what I just connected to the side vertical line. Okay, so right here I am just using my tape as a landmark or a guide to you know, smoothing my back, tightening. That is just what I did, and I'll be marking the midpoint to be able to draw my dart. Okay, here I am drawing my dart, and obviously you are not going to allow that dart to really like pass the armhole. That is what I just marked, because it's not supposed to pass the armhole. I marked 1/2 inch on both sides of this line, and I'm connecting it to the mark I gave earlier. And yeah, that is just that. And the next thing I'll be doing is to connect to the shoulder line. Okay, I just connected to the shoulder line. This is the line I want it to have. You can feel free to do armhole princess if you prefer that. I prefer the shoulder line, and I'm okay with it. So that is it. I will go ahead and cut out my back pattern, and that will be it. We'll go ahead and calculate for the rest of the length of the gown after cutting out, so that we can derive the rest of the pattern from this. So this is the front shawl collar, and that is the back that we have here. I just label center back, center front, and side front, and that is it, as you can see. So I will go ahead and, you know, slash this pattern pieces into pieces more to be able to derive the 6 pieces pattern that we are looking for. I'm closing up the side, you know, bust that in the front pattern, okay, to make my pattern set complete. Here you can see what I have already, and this is the front length, which is 17.5. okay, I want to derive the length of the gown here. The total length of the gown is 42, so the remaining length will now be 42 minus 17.5. I hope you understand. Okay, 42 minus 17.5, that will give 24.5. So the remaining length to complete those bodies, to get the length of the gown, will be 24.5 for all the pattern sets. Okay, so from here I will be, you know, I'm just writing down in all the pattern sets so that I don't look for the remaining lengths at any point, so that each one I'm holding, I will have the remaining length written on it. That's just what I did. I'm trimming out my dart here, the back dart, and I will go ahead to manipulate this pattern to get the complete pattern. Yeah. So here I have my pattern. Here I have more like 2 pieces. So when I cut this, it's going to give me 2 pieces of this pattern, and this is the center back. Watch closely, because this is the method you are going to still use to cut the rest of the pattern. So I'm just going ahead to measure 26 inches. You know, the remaining length is 24 inches. Okay, I'm pinning down the pattern so that it doesn't move. I'll just measure 26 inches. I added extra 1.5 inches so that it will be the hem. Here I just measured the excess. I just measured, you know, the space I have from that fold to where the pattern is kept, so that I will get a straight line. Okay, I just marked that, and I will measure the same amount for the hem. I hope you understand. I just marked that. Now this is what I have. I am going to measure the distance, okay, for this pattern width, and that is what I marked at that hem. So I just added fullness of about 5 inches, and on this other side that I'm touching now, I added about 4 inches. Okay, just feel free to add what you like. I measured the length of the gown, and I'm measuring the same length here. I hope you understand. I'm measuring the same here. It's going to give you a sort of arc. It's not going to be a straight line, and that is that. I hope you understand. Make sure you do yours like this so that your dress will come out nicely. And that is all. I'm going ahead to cut this out, and yeah, that is it. So you can notice the hem of this dress is more like an arc. It's not running straight. So this is what we are going to do for the rest of the pattern. Ensure that when your fabric has patterns, that you follow the pattern. Ensure that you do not at any point keep the patterns upside down. So here I am measuring the length again, about 26 inches, and I am also ensuring that my fullness is added. That is what I just did. And yeah, after adding it, I just moved my pattern because I noticed there is a lot of excess from the fold. I won't want to waste a whole lot. I'm just drawing a straight line to mark the width of this pattern, okay, so that I can add my excess from it. Excess, I mean, is the fullness of the 6 pieces. So I just added 4 and 5, of course. The 5 inches is by the side and the 4 inches is in. I hope you understand, inside the pattern, more like around the, you know, towards the middle of the pattern, while the 5 inches is by the side. It will be the side seam. Now I just measured the length and it's giving me another arc, as you can see. Okay, just measure 26 inches from this side, and yeah, I just ensured that it is 26 inches from each side. It has, I'm just connecting the line here, but just measure the length 26, 26, 26 so that it gives you this arc. Ensure that you measure it. Don't just cut through without measuring. It's not going to give you this arc. Okay, so having done that, I'm going to cut out my pattern for this side back. You know, this is the side back. The first one we cut was the center back. So having cut, okay, I'm cutting out the side back right now, and I will also use the same method to cut my side front and my center front. Just the same method, no difference, okay? Every other thing is the same except the addition in length and how I added the fullness, which remains the same. See the side seam, I added about 1.5 inches sewing allowance, and every other side I added 1/2 inch, okay? And the hem I added 1.5 to the length, which will form my hem allowance. So this is what I have here. I've already cut the center front, as you can see, and I've added my allowance. I did not add any more fullness. I didn't add fullness on the zipper allowance. That place is running straight, please note that. Watch how I added my padding, the bust padding, which is the wording. Watch how I added it. Observe closely how I added it. See the shape. Okay, I hope you observe the shape of the wording for the center front also. Okay, now this is the back pattern, the side back and the center back, and yeah, this is what I have. So my pattern pieces for the body of the dress is complete. And this is what I have. This is the lining pieces. This is the side front. And this is the center front. Watch the wording of this center front, okay? Watch the neckline. And I will be using doll face satin on this, okay? You will see how I am going to join this doll face to the lining and how it is eventually going to form the neckline of this beautiful shawl collar dress. I hope you are enjoying the tutorial. If you are, don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up, comment so that I will be able to know your thoughts about this video. So here I have the side back and I have the center back. So that is what I have here. I just stabilize that neckline so that it will give structure and weight to what will carry the neckline. I hope you understand. Here I've gone ahead to start joining the pieces, and here I have joined the princess cut to more like the waistline. I'll finish up the joining, then I will show you what I have. I've finished up the joining here. Watch closely to see what I did. I notched this bust line and I'll open it up, use my breast hem or bust hem to iron it open. Yeah, this is what I have, and I weaved up the remaining part. I hope you understand. I've gone ahead to iron it, and this is what it looks like. Very beautiful already. So what I will do is to join the shawl collar. Watch closely. I'm going to join there, and see me, I've joined it. I'm going ahead to iron. So after ironing, I will also join the lining. You can see that I've joined the lining pieces. I hope you understand what I'm doing. And yeah, I've gone ahead to join the back. This is the back pieces. I've joined it and I've also weaved it off. I've weaved it. I've weaved it, and I'll be joining these two together. Watch how I am going to join this neckline. I will join from the middle. I'll hold it by the middle back to the center middle point of that shawl collar that I joined. I'll hold it together with the mid back and then stitch it till where my shoulder line starts. Here I have stitched, and see here I left it open. I stitched to where the shoulder line started, and I'm going to notch. Watch closely how I notched there. This is how what I did for the other side that I have stitched. I notched to make the stitch very smooth and relaxed. Now I'm going to join the remaining part of the shoulder. So it's as easy as that. I hope you understand. So I will join it, and it's going to be smooth. As you can see, I've joined it all through, and yeah, this is what it gave. I'll do the same thing for the lining pieces, and I will also join the sides. I hope you understand. I joined the fabric separately and I joined the lining separately. Okay, after I joined the two, you can see what I've done here. I've joined the lining pieces. I've joined the lining pieces. And this is what I have. I'm going to hold the two of them together and then stitch as like so, just as you can see me do. I just laid the satin on the lining piece and stitched it on it. That is all I did for that center front lining. I just stitched down the satin on it. That's all, before joining the side princess cut. Sorry, I did not capture the footage here. See the neckline. After joining the lining and the fabric on this neckline, I notched and I top stitched towards the fabric. Did you see that top stitch that I showed you now? This is to ensure that the neckline is relaxed and beautiful. That is the essence of top stitching. And you top stitch towards the fabric. Now it's just remaining the zipper, the hem and the sleeve. So here you can close up the zipper like this and just fix your zipper on the surface. I mean, like outside, but I won't like doing mine like that, especially for this dress. So I'm going to tuck everything in. The zipper is going to be tucked in. I will show you every bit of how I did that, because I want everything to be seamless and neat inside. I don't want any stitch seam exposed apart from where I joined the sleeve here. So this is my hem also. It's still rough. So this is the neckline. It's already looking beautiful and relaxed. Please follow these two sewing techniques and you will get everything right. I have cut my sleeve already. I've cut it. I always cut with my back sleeve, and I will trim a little bit from the front as required when I am fixing it. That is what I do. To know how to cut a basic sleeve pattern, I'll link it up in the description box so that you will see the full tutorial of how this is done. I'm here I'm just marking the back because the fabric is a bit confusing, so I just had to mark the back to know straight at a glance where the front and the back is, so that I won't have to waste time looking for it. Ensure you do yours like that also if your fabric is the confusing type that you hardly know the face and the back. Okay, when you still have that savage on, just mark the back of your fabric. Here I am marking the facing that I need for the sleeve. So that is what I just did here. I'm just trying to cover everything in one video so that the video will not be too long. I had to just cut out a little bit of some parts that I feel are not so necessary in this video. Okay, so that is what I just did here. I just cut the facing, or what will be the design on the sleeve. I'll do the same for the second sleeve, and I'll go ahead and cut. Here I have cut it, and I'll go ahead to apply an interfacing. I used Hasty as the interfacing on this black doll face satin, and that is it. Watch how I will be, you know, laying it on the sleeve. Okay, it will be there on the sleeve, and how I'm going to lay this is just to iron out about 1/2 inch on the edge of this, just as I have done. And yes, I will be placing it like so. Watch how I'm going to pin it down, and I'll pin it down and then stitch. You can stitch on the surface if you want, but I like my stitching seamless, so I'll be stitching mine from behind. Just do yours as I am doing, right sides facing each other. That is right sides of the fabric and the doll face satin, and I will stitch it down and then turn it up like this to, you know, look very fine and well finished. Okay, so that is what I did for both sleeve, and I have stitched it down. I'm going ahead to cut the lining of this sleeve. Okay, I'll cut the lining of the sleeve, and I will go ahead to stitch it. Use the lining and turn it, and then top stitch. So here is the lining. I'm going to stitch, and then I will flip over and top stitch before I close the sides. To close the sides, there are 2 methods. You can either flip it over like this. After top stitching, you flip like this and then stitch fabric to fabric and lining to lining so that everything will be inside, or you stitch it up like this and just join it through like this. Any way you desire is just fine. Okay, so I have gone ahead to attach my sleeve, and this is what I have. You can see how beautiful and seamless everything is looking. You can see how lovely it is. I am going ahead to fix my zipper. I just picked the fabric first, and I'll be pinning down my zipper, allowing the excess of the zipper to be towards the upside of the dress. I hope you understand. Don't allow the excess to be towards the hem. The excess should be towards the up or upper side of the dress. Okay, so that is what I just did here. I'm using my pin to pin the zipper in place along the zipper allowance line, and I will go ahead and stitch it down. Okay, so that is what I just did here. That is what I just did here. I ensured that I pinned it down, and then I will stitch it down. I'll do the same for the reverse or the opposite side of the zipper. Note that what I picked is just the fabric on this first stitch. I did not touch the lining right now, and this is what I have. So I'll go ahead and turn over and stitch the lining such that the zipper will be between the lining and the fabric. I hope you understand. So I will go ahead and, you know, stitch it from the inside and put my zipper between the fabric and the lining. So I've gone ahead to stitch, and this is how seamless and beautiful it is already looking for the other side. Watch closely to see what I did, how I pinned that zipper, and how I'm going to flip over the, you know, lining. See how I flipped it over, and I'll be stitching down to the hem. So that is just it. I will stitch, and I will show you what I have. I've gone ahead to stitch it, and this is how beautiful the dress turned out. You can see how lovely and neat it is. I'll go ahead and use my hemming gum. I'll go ahead to use my hemming gum to hem where I should hem. This is the hemming gum, and I'll be putting it there and iron on it. So this will keep that place in place while I just, okay, this is just it. Apply your hemming gum and iron. Then you go ahead and hem the down part of the dress. I added 1.5 inches. Look at the hemline, look at the neckline, how beautiful it's looking. Look at the zipper opening it. See how seamless and beautiful the inside is. You can tell that it is so neat and lovely even in this video. Okay, you go ahead and finish up the hem. See the sleeve, how lovely it is, and on the mannequin is looking so lovely. And of course my client really liked her clothes because it just came out as she wanted it. She liked the clothes and she was very happy. Thanks guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed every bit of the tutorial. Love you all, and of course I'll see you in my next one. Bye.